We have now traveled from Chitrakoot, where Ramji, Lakshmanji and Sitaji spent about 11 and a half years. From there. They went to seek blessing from another Swamiji. I'll tell you a bit more about that. And that Swamiji told them that they should spend rest of their stay in Banwas here in Panchvati area. And so we start our travel tour in Nasik from this place. In the background you can see the Hanumanji's mother's mandir, and for the Girmi diaspora there are millions of people who are devotees of Hanumanji. So we thought we're going to start our tour with this beautiful location, this beautiful mandir which is dedicated to Hanumanji's mother. This place is located about 16 kilometers from Nasik. The area is called Panchvati, and a bit further up there is where Hanumanji was born. We're going to go there next, but we'll show you. This is the first time I've been here. Our team has been here for the first time, and his mandir is situated in such a beautiful surrounding. It's like a hill station, and we'll show you the panoramic view from here, so you can yourself see how beautiful it looks. And then we're going to have a brief look at the place where Hanumanji was born. Yes, as promised, we are here in January. You can see the steps over here that leads to the place, the temple dedicated to the birthplace of Lord Hanuman. The sad part is that one has to climb about 1,000 steps to visit that temple. Takes about 1.5 hours to go there, and about 1.5 hours to return. We unfortunately do not have the time to do that, and but as you can see, if you travel over here, you already seen the scenes. It's such a beautiful scenery over here. It's very peaceful, and for all the devotees of Lord Hanuman, it will be good if you could come. And if you do come over here, be prepared to climb those steps over there, and allow at least 3 to 4 hours for this visit, and also enjoy the scenery. separate from being a birthplace of Hanumanji, and temple, as I said, dedicated to his mother. Whilst traveling up here, I noticed two things. Perched right on the top of this hill is a structure which is like Shivaling, and down there is a beautiful lake which reminded me of Mount Sarovar. So I don't know how much research has been done on this, whether anybody else has ever noticed this, but it reminds me so much of Mount Kailash. There's a Shivalanga there on a mountain. There's a beautiful pristine lake. It leads me to proclaim that probably it is Mount Kailash and Mount Sarovar of Nasik or Panchvati. Why it's over here, why it is structured in this way, probably needs more research, but come over here, have a look at it. The beautiful surrounding, birthplace of Hanumanji, and a mandir down there dedicated to his mother. And I'm sure you're going to love your journey. Allow a lot of time, 3 hours for visiting the temple itself where Hanumanji is supposed to be born, and the whole tour would be at least half a day. Birthplace of Hanumanji has a very special and personal significance for me, as you probably already know, that I used to sing Ramayana in the Ramlila Kuti in my village many years ago as a child. And then when I was 14-15 years old, I played the role of Lord Hanumanji in the Ramlila. The Ramlila went on for about 8 days, and I lived the character of Hanumanji, who was born right over here according to the legend. So it's a privilege for me as well to be standing on the same grounds where it is believed that Hanumanji was born. And later on, as we move south, we'll go to the place where Hanumanji met Ramji, and we'll continue the story from there. We are still in Nasik, in Panchvati, and a place called Tapovan is very scenic and is very historic, and there is a long story behind this regarding Lord Ram's Banwas and Sita ji and Laxman. I'll try to keep the story brief. What has happened is that from Chitrakoot, Ram ji went to seek blessings from some sages, and the sage Agastya informed him to go, or rather to come to Panchvati, and this is the area in Tapovan area that he spent a lot of time during his stay here. But his stay over here also started problems for him, his brother, and Sita ji. The story is that when they came over here and started to live on the banks of River Godavari, Ravana's sister Subnaka came over here and began to seduce Lord Ram. He was not interested and sent him apparently to his younger brother Lakshmana. Lakshmana also didn't want anything to do with Subnaka, and there was probably a quarrel, and out of rage or whatever, Lakshmana cut off Subnaka's nose. That resulted in Subnaka telling this episode to the brother Kara and Dusashan, and there was war between Kara, Dusashan, Lakshmana and Lord Ram, in which the brothers of Subnaka were apparently defeated, and then Subnaka informed the brother king Ravana of what had happened. First, King Ravana developed a ploy to seek revenge. He sent his uncle Marich in the form of a golden deer to this area, and apparently Sita saw that golden deer and requested Ram to fetch the deer for her. He did so, but instructed brother Lakshmana to look after Sita. And then Lord King Ravan, in form of a priest, came over here, and before going to on instruction of Sita ji, apparently there was some inclination that Lord Ram was in trouble, so Sita sent Lakshmana to find out what had happened to Lord Ram, because he had not come for a while, returned for a while, and so before leaving Sita alone, somewhere here he drew a Lakshman Rekha, which is a ring of fire, and instructed Sita not to leave that Lakshman Rekha, the circle of fire, which was there to protect her. And when Lakshmana left, King Ravan took form of a priest, and he came and asked for alms from Sitaji. In the beginning, apparently Sitaji offered the alms to the priest from inside the circle, but on the insistence of Ravana the priest, she came out of the circle, and as soon as she came out of the circle, King Ravana kidnapped her and took her away from this place, and hence the problem for Lord Ram, Sita and Lakshmana started. And from here we go down south, where we're going to tell the story of how Ram, Lakshmana teamed up with Sugriva, King Sugriva, and Hanumanji, and went down south towards Sri Lanka to get back Sitaji. So the importance of this place, say, is the story which I briefly told you. There's also is Lakshman Mandir over there, where Lakshmana prayed during his stay over here. We'll show you that during this conversation. Yes, we are relating the exile of Lord Ram to the exile of the 1.2 million Girmityas, and as I have already stated, this is where the problem for the main characters of Exile of Lord Ram started, especially for the women. Supneka, she got her nose cut for whatever reason, and Sitaji was kidnapped over here, and she was exiled in Sri Lanka. Also, that is a sad story, and we follow that as we go along. Also, the women of the Girmityas, they also have a very, very sad story. From outside, only 30% of the total Girmityas were women. So for every 3 men, there was 1 woman. And you can imagine what they would have had to endure when they finally reached the ship, a 3 months voyage, first 5 years of Girmit, 10 years of Girmit, and then for most of them the whole life Girmit, exile in the colonies. And within 1 generation the ratio became 1 to 1. So there were a lot of children being born. 10 to 15 children had to be born by every Girmitya woman. On top of that, they were working on the farm whole day, and they would come back home, cook food, and then get back up again early in the morning. And on top of that, they would have had to wait off advances from all those men who obviously were young, and they had their sexual needs. So it was the women who had to endure all those attention. Some wanted, many probably unwanted. There would have been rape or pressure, or she would have to endure or provide favors to multiple men. That would lead to disharmony in the coolie lanes. That disharmony would result in mental trauma, would result in suicides, would result into even murders. So those were the troubles. One can compare the troubles which started for Lord Ram, Sita ji, and Laxman over here. But at the same time, you have to now put in perspective the problem, especially of the women, the Girmitya women in the colonies, be it in Mauritius, South Africa, East Africa, West Indies, Fiji, or Green Island, wherever. So as we go along, we'll be relating further stories of how Lord Ram and Laxman rescued Sita, and I'll also tell you the stories of Girmityas in exile.